Alright everyone, we've finally got the full rundown on SKIRK. In this video, we're diving deep into her gameplay, breaking down everything you need to know to decide if she's the next must-pull for your team, or if she's going to take a back seat on your wish list. The 5.7 beta just landed, and while we're still waiting on those sweet in-game animations, we've got the complete picture of her stats and abilities. And trust me, this character is a fascinating web of interconnected mechanics that could make her incredibly rewarding to play, or maybe a little overwhelming, depending on your playstyle. Let's kick things off with her base stats. At level 90, SKIRK boasts a solid 12,417 HP, a respectable 359 base attack, and 86 defense. But here's where it gets interesting. Her Ascension stat is a whopping 38.4% critical damage. That's a fantastic sign right off the bat for anyone who loves dishing out big burst damage. Characters who scale with crit damage tend to have serious nuke potential. Now, the weapon that's likely to be her signature sword has also been revealed. It packs a hefty 608 base attack and a juicy 33.1% critical rate. That's a strong combo on its own, but the passive is where things get really spicy. After using her elemental skill, SKIRK gets a 24% attack boost for 12 seconds. But if her energy is completely empty, she gets an additional 24% attack and a massive 40% boost to critical damage. This directly ties into one of her most unique features. Her burst doesn't cost any energy at all. Instead, it uses a resource called Serpent Subtlety. So, if you time it just right, you could be triggering that huge crit damage bonus with every single burst. So what exactly is this Serpent Subtlety? Think of it like fuel for her elemental burst, and for staying in her special enhanced state after using her skill. You gain a quick 45 stacks the moment you use her skill, whether you tap or hold it. A tap sends her straight into what's called 7-phase flash, her enhanced combat mode. Holding the skill lets her dash around in a controllable burst of movement, ending either manually or when the duration runs out. The main goal is to get her into that 7-phase flash. While in this mode, her normal and charged attacks convert to cryo damage, gain increased area of effect, and hit harder. She also gets a significant boost to interruption resistance, which is perfect for staying aggressive in the thick of things. And here's a really cool bonus. While sprinting in this enhanced mode, she can actually move on water. Not ice bridges, but actual liquid water. We haven't seen that kind of water traversal since Ayaka or Mona, but here it seems more integrated with her combat utility, which could hint at her being useful beyond just the spiral abyss. Now what's the catch? This enhanced mode constantly drains Serpent Subtlety. When it runs out, or if you switch characters, she reverts to her normal state and her skill goes on cooldown. This means timing is absolutely crucial with SKIRK. She's not a fire-and-forget character. You'll need to actively manage her enhanced mode, keep an eye on your Serpent Subtlety stacks, and execute your rotations within specific windows. Let's talk about her normal attack combo and charged attack outside of her enhanced state. She has a pretty standard 5-hit normal attack sequence, but her real power comes alive when she's in 7-phase flash. Her charged attack throws out a spinning polearm, dealing damage in a wide line, almost like a spinning glaive. It's not particularly remarkable on its own, but it can help with grouping and controlling enemies. Now, let's get to her elemental burst, because this is where things really deviate from the usual Genshin design. Her regular burst doesn't use any energy. Instead, it consumes 50 or more Serpent Subtlety stacks to unleash a series of cryo area of effect slashes. If you have more than 50 stacks, you can gain bonus damage scaling for up to 12 additional stacks, meaning your timing and how well you've been hoarding those stacks directly impact the burst's power. However, if you use her burst while in her enhanced 7-phase flash mode, it transforms into what we'll call the Rapid Onslaught version. This version doesn't consume Serpent Subtlety and instead applies a buff called Withering, which boosts the damage of her normal attacks for every hit, up to 10 stacks. You can further enhance this effect by absorbing special field objects called Void Rifts. Void Rifts are another key component of her kit, tying everything together through her passive talents. Whenever your team triggers reactions like Frozen, Superconduct, Cryo Swirl, or Cryo Crystallize, a Void Rift appears on the field. And yes, this is team-wide. SKIRK doesn't need to trigger the reaction herself. She can absorb these rifts in a few ways. by hitting enemies with her charged attack while enhanced, by using her special rapid onslaught burst, or by moving during the held skill dash. Each rift grants her 8 stacks of serpent subtlety. So, if you're building a team around her, you'll want to focus on consistent elemental reactions to keep her fueled up. Speaking of synergies, one of her passives grants extra damage boosts when you team her up with Hydro or Cryo characters. For each Hydro or Cryo teammate that deals damage, she gains a buff called Death's Crossing, stacking up to 3 times. Each stack significantly boosts both her normal attack and burst damage while she's in 7-phase flash mode. The multipliers here are pretty substantial, going up to 170% for her enhanced normal attacks and 160% for her burst at 3 stacks. Imagine a team with someone like Furina or Yellen for consistent Hydro application and another Cryo like Shenhe or Ganyu. You're not just creating reactions, you're also passively charging up SKIRK's damage, which is a really elegant layer of synergy. And for those who enjoy mono-element teams, she even has a passive that increases all team members' elemental skill level by 1 when you have both Hydro and Cryo characters present. It's a subtle bonus, but those small buffs can make a difference in tight combat situations. Now, let's take a look at her constellations, because they seem quite impactful. Her first constellation makes her Void Rift absorption much more aggressive. Every time she picks up a rift, she summons a crystal blade that deals significant area of effect cryo damage, scaling off a massive 500% of her attack. This damage is considered charged attack damage, so it benefits from any effects that boost charged attacks. Her second constellation grants her an additional 12 Serpent Subtlety stacks after using her skill, and also increases the maximum Serpent Subtlety cap for her burst by 12 stacks, essentially giving you more room for bigger burst damage. On top of that, her enhanced normal attacks get a flat 60% damage increase, which is a huge boost to her sustained damage output. Her sixth constellation introduces a new mechanic called Foul Art Slash. It's stack-based, triggered when she absorbs Void Rifts, and adds conditional effects. When she uses her burst, she can consume these stacks for bonus hits. When she hits certain points in her normal attack combo, extra cryo slashes will trigger, and even when she takes damage, she can automatically respond with damage reduction and counterattacks. It's like her kit gains layers of extra aggression the more constellations you unlock. If I had to sum up SKIRK in a single sentence, I'd say she's a high-skill, tempo-based cryo main DPS who rewards careful planning, precise timing, and smart team synergy. She's definitely not a simple one-button burst damage dealer like some characters. She wants you to build your team around her unique mechanics, pay attention to elemental reactions, and actively manage her resources like Serpent Subtlety and Death's Crossing. If you enjoy characters like Xiao or Sino who have distinct on-field burst phases, and you're comfortable with a bit of micromanagement, she might just be the perfect addition to your roster. But what are your initial thoughts? Are you excited to try out this unique style of gameplay? Does the energy-free burst mechanic feel like a breath of fresh air or a potential headache? Let me know what you think down in the comments below. And hey, if you found this breakdown helpful, don't forget to hit that like button. So far, we've only seen her kit on paper, but once those animations drop, we'll get an even better feel for how SKIRK plays. If you're planning on pulling for her, it's probably a good idea to start farming those cryo artifacts and thinking about potential reaction partners. And as always, I'll keep you updated if there are any changes in future beta phases.